Mm.
Well, the interesting thing is, of course, are Europeans willing to die for the Ukraine? And they're not.
My name is Lieutenant Colonel Lee Roger Wolfgram, and I am a storyteller. Welcome to the bunker.
Those countries that have been very clear in their opposition to Putin's regime and very clear in their support in Ukraine are now more united. I think in addition to that, Russia's aggression in Ukraine has helped unite NATO. We've seen two countries join NATO in the aftermath of that invasion. So I think countries that have clearly positioned themselves in the Russia's invasion of Ukraine have become more united. However, I also do think that some disunity has been created, primarily by countries that are not in line with the EU's general approach towards Russia invasion. Of course, here I'm talking about Slovakia and I'm talking about Hungary that have constantly been obstructing the EU's efforts to assist Ukraine. But I think more broadly, they're generally often expressing dissatisfaction with the EU. They're often obstructing EU's institutions' ability to do their job effectively. So I think we have more unity amongst some countries, but on a whole European level, certain cracks in unity are starting to show.
Oh, we are in the war room.
You are. You're in the bunker.
Oh, wow.
What? Yeah, exactly. Hey, guys.
Well, here we are.
Yeah. Oh, you're having coffee. Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
Not
I
only
love it.
coffee.
I love it. Well, what? Something I want to talk to you about because, I'm so pro-Ukrainian, and right now the United States is just so polarized over everything. You can't believe anything here. I do kind of get the point that I don't know what you do. When people are getting killed, like Yaroslav is getting killed, and the territory's lost, and you got to fight to get it back. And like I always said, I really think if you wanted to play military games, then NATO should have done a military response in some way, way back when. And I think the sanctions, just what are we going to send? People say more sanctions and more sanctions. No, I don't really think so. I don't think that's doing anything. How many guys get killed every week or month or whatever for sanctions that at the end of the day, or we just send more people and get it over with. Fucking do it. You know what I mean? Certain countries still buy oil. It seems to me like that's bullshit. It's just he fucking uses bullets and tanks and kills Ukrainian soldiers, and we don't even turn off the fucking oil. How serious is this shit? You know? So that's and as a military guy, I really want I really value your opinions and being in Europe and Gerald, how you kind of help, help whenever necessary. Everybody does, but I don't really know right now if Boris says, let's go to war, I'd be right next to you, Boris, if that's what you said. If you said, let's go back and kill Russians, hey, I'll go. But I don't know where that gets us other than killed.
Yeah, but you see, right now this like the process is being on. I mean, is going on. Yeah, and the matter is, for example, if the Trump would like to stop it, I mean, because it's also the matter that the United States will spend a lot of money for that operation. But if the United States would like to send any troops there, and Ukrainian is just also they have some of the limitation in the manpower.
But now, if you're just running out of soldiers, what do you do then? You don't have North Korean soldiers to send.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Romanian would like, the Polish would like to go there. I mean, to join.
They would. Do you think the Polish would like? Has anybody
No,
talked?
no, 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 no.
No,
For
no,
Polish,
we're not. We're
Polish
not.
most important. For Polish troops, for them most important the border, national border.
What once looked like a bold show of strength from Britain and Europe is now quietly being reworked into a more cautious, scaled-back military commitment to Ukraine. Britain is now likely to scrap proposals to send tens of thousands of ground troops to defend key Ukrainian infrastructure, a plan originally floated to protect cities, ports, and nuclear plants under a potential post-ceasefire peacekeeping mission. The Times, which reviewed internal deliberations, reported that the risk of direct confrontation with Russia was deemed too high. A source involved in the UK-led Coalition of the Willing said the proposed force was always inadequate to provide real deterrence, noting, "The risks are too high, and the force is inadequate for such a task." In a sharp pivot, the UK and its European partners are now expected to shift their focus toward reinforcing and rearming Ukraine's military, with a stronger emphasis on air and maritime protection over ground presence.
Because they're using Russian sources.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. So sanctions my ass, dude. So it seems to me like it's a trade-off for oil for Slovakia or Lithuania or whoever it is that needs oil, or Hungary, in exchange for Ukrainian soldiers' lives, right? How fucking serious are we? And he was all in disarray. If NATO was going to do something, that was the time to do it. If we're fucking around now and we're saying here 3 years later, hey, let's have some more sanctions. Are you kidding? Really? What do you think, Gerald? Or do you say that sucks? That was fucked up. We did that wrong. We better make sure we never do it again that way. Arm the shit out of Ukraine after we settle for some concession and stop the killing. Or you got to go all the way. My thoughts as an officer, as a military guy. He's playing military and we're playing politics. It doesn't work.
Well, the interesting thing is, of course, are Europeans willing to die for the Ukraine? And they're not.
And isn't that really
I
the
think
sad truth? Isn't that really the sad truth? Is I think that's kind of coming out is, Europe needs to worry about Europe.
British planners remain wary of a scenario where a ceasefire collapses and foreign troops become entangled in renewed hostilities, a situation that could stretch NATO's eastern flank thin and risk dragging the alliance into direct conflict.
Here's my point. Isn't Putin right now in violation of everything that he signed up for? Going back to your contracts, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if see what I mean? Contracts, you can wipe your ass with a contract. It's the same as toilet paper. You can start your fire with it, but when it comes to somebody fucking kicking in your front door or invading your country, you can't be relying on a piece of toilet paper.
Anymore. No.
Well, right. I mean, that's jacked up. That's completely jacked up. But
Well,
again,
and the point is that, to be honest, Europe is not ready for war with Russia since like in the 1930s, when they acted too late on Germany. Now they acted too late on Russia because they've seen the signs, but they didn't want to act on it. And even in 2014, when Russia annexed the Crimea, NATO said, "Okay, we'll go to the 2% as we had promised." But it took until 2022, when Russia really attacked, that they started to get worried, and the budgets were booming. And now they say, okay, we need a couple of years, and then we are ready for combat. But
Right.
nobody is really willing to die for empty land in the east of Europe.
the Ukrainians hold on and hold on and hold on for shit. And yeah, you send them weapons, but like Boris said, they're tired. They've been in the field for 3.5 years. You can give them everything you can give them, but still, if you're not going to put a European soldier or an American soldier and you don't have any North Korean soldiers, who the hell, it's just, so I guess my point of view is now they've fucked this up so bad militarily that it really has to be a political, or it is world.
But that was from the start. So they tried to ruin the Russian economy. By the way, it is ruined, more or less.
We can kick his ass pretty damn easy, honestly. If we decide we're going to play this and go down, and then it's really who's got the fortitude to do it. But you're going to lose soldiers. You're just going to lose them because they're big numbers. No matter how you play it, when you talk a million, and then he mobilized. So I don't know what they are now, but he's been taking bad losses. But now you're talking to millions of fucking guys engaged in a war. You could win. Yeah, sure. The numbers, I'm sure that's going to happen. It would win, but there's going to be a lot of guys. So you think they're getting killed now? They're going to get killed by that, tens of
Well,
thousands.
the other thing is, of course, that they are afraid of a nuclear war, and Putin is threatening it all the time. And
Yeah.
with crazy guy, but Putin is not he's not very crazy. He's very calculated. He
Well,
may be informed. He may have big dreams he shouldn't have, but he is calculating very highly, and he's threatening, and he is manipulating the Europeans, but he is also manipulating Mr. Trump.
Well, and that's why I don't even bring in in this discussion with you guys, I don't even bring into, at this point, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who's in charge? Trump, Biden, whoever's in charge in Holland, whoever's in charge of Germany, who fucking cares? What do you do now? It is what it is. Who's got the bright idea? What's the end of the story look like?
Well, they tried to tear down Russia, as we did in the Cold War. It took a lot of years, but in the end, they just gave up. They didn't have the resources anymore.
Well, I think if you're going to do a military thing at this point, I think the thing you would do is you would from a soldier standpoint, right? If you're going to just do it, like, okay, first of all, if you're going to run scared from nuclear weapons your whole life, then guess what? Whoever's threatening to use them is always going to win. Maybe that day has to come someday. I don't know, but you can't be just running scaredy cat and whoever threatens to use them, then there needs to be a plan to stop that shit once and for all. Whatever day that is, I guess that's the question. But someday that needs to be dealt with if that's how he deals with it. But I think from a military standpoint right now, while Ukraine has what they have now, if we're going to do this, then we should go and reinforce Ukraine from all fucking NATO, right? Go right up to the fucking line. If that's from a military perspective, just how else do you do it? If you're going to reinforce Ukraine, you start mobilizing your shit and fucking moving it into Ukraine, big time, all your shit.
Well, I think so too. You shouldn't bring all your shit.
Well, you know what I mean, right? I mean, from a soldier, what are we going to do from back here? Fucking, how far did it take us for us to drive from Holland or from Odessa to Holland? Try to do that with the whole damn army. It's a month away if you started now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the idea of since we think we are stronger than Russia and China together, maybe this is the time to bring them on the knees, and not wait another 20 years.
Well, see,
on the
now
other hand, we did have Russia on the knees in 1994, 5, because then there was there was a famish. They're hungry. They didn't have their food anymore. So from
a famine, a famine.
Russia.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is we had them on the knees, and Putin and his KGB were able to take over control of the country.
He's the evil fucker. Yeah.
And what frightens me is if we bring them again to the knees. So what will happen to the country again? Will it go down again to an uncontrolled state, or we tried to make Iraq a democracy. Well, that did not really work. We tried to make Afghanistan democracy. That did not really work.
No.
So, yeah, what's going to work to make it so much better?
Behind closed doors, Western officials are betting that stepping back from boots on the ground might just be the concession Moscow needs to rethink its hardline terms. A strategic gamble that could either open the door to peace or be read as retreat.
With this one, guys, my thing is militarily, I think we just have to reinforce the whole, we'd have to say the whole thing is on or the whole thing is off, right? Don't you guys think? And do you think there's a better idea? If we're going to go military right now, we just start to mobilize? Do you think we fuck around?
Yes, but nobody's going to do that.
Right, that's what I mean. So now we're stuck. We got to settle this damn thing, and at some point though, we got to be ready because if he just doesn't, because I agree with you, if we're talking about manipulation, and if you think that Putin is manipulating then Trump is going to have a problem with his own reputation, and he's going to have to go big balls. I don't think so. I'm kind of letting him do his thing because he likes to go around and be in charge, and people are watching. So how tough are you really?
Diplomatic sources told The Times that the talks now revolve around crafting a compromise that won't require Ukraine to abandon all its red lines, while pressuring Moscow to shift its own.